This show brought to you by Circle of Seven Productions, www.cosproductions.com. Please be sure to subscribe and welcome to our circle.
Well, hello, everybody. This is Patricia W. Fisher with Readers Entertainment Radio, and can you believe we're already into June? And so I know a lot of you are probably looking for some really good books to read this summer, some sitting by the pool reads, sitting on the beach reads, just basically sitting outside, or maybe just curling up and being by yourself, because sometimes the summer can be just as stressful as the rest of the year. So for some people, there's no change, obviously. So but we always have really great books and to offer. But while you're sitting there thinking about where exactly you would read this book, just know that it is Adopt a Cat Month and Adopt a Shelter Cat Month. And so keep those in mind if you're thinking about possibly bringing a furry friend home to curl up next to you while you read your book. And then it's also Pride Month. So if you have someone in your life that is LGBTQ, just, reach out, let them know that you are a safe person, you are an ally, you are just basically smile at somebody. We're all on this trying to share this planet together. So let's just kind of we've all been through a lot in the past year. So let's just make each other feel welcome and just be kind. So, but while you're sitting there thinking about what cat you're going to bring home and then where you're going to read your book, I have got a book for you. So, Brynn North is a new writer to me, but she's got all these books I haven't read, so I'm super excited. Brynn's goal was to write fun, witty, and relatable books that leave you with a smile and a laugh. Her heroines are often finding their way in life, in and out of relationships. Her characters may not always be perfect, but hey, neither are we. She hopes that you can see other perspectives or even parts of yourselves in her books and realize you aren't alone in figuring this whole life thing out. Her books are chick lit or a closed-door romance, perfect for readers who love chemistry and sizzle but no explicit content. She's a Minnesota native, so I was going to say Minnesotian. I don't know if I said this correctly. She still lives in Minneapolis with her family, loving it for approximately 8 months out of the year, and the other 4 months she dreams about moving to a warmer zip code. She's a total cat lady, so she can give us advice about adopting a cat, and with the best cats in the world. Her books, Refine Love and Love Game, are out now, and she's got a bunch of other books you should be ready to order, so get your credit card ready. You can find Brynn at her website, Facebook, Instagram, and BookBub. Welcome to the show, Brynn. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you so much for the intro.
Absolutely. Well, I'm laughing because you have Want to Live Somewhere Else for 4 months, and I was thinking, yeah, all those people that moved from the north down to the south, like in February in Texas, probably were like, wait, I moved from this insanity of freezing. And yeah, we kind of threw y'all for a loop there, didn't we?
I went to Galveston not this Christmas but the previous one, and okay, fine. I'll admit I'm the worst at checking weather no matter where I am. And my mom and I are like, oh, it's going to be great and sunny and beautiful. My friend who was in Houston for a couple of years, she's like, oh, yeah, before I told her my vision. And she's like, oh, it'll be nice, yeah, in 50s and 60s. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's Texas. And
right.
Like, oh, did you not? I'm like, no, I really didn't look up. I mean, it's better than Minnesota, but it's not like sit at the pool in your swimsuit weather.
Right. Yeah, we're not quite that far south, but yeah, it's warm a lot. I have plenty of friends with pools, and they enjoy it pretty decently for a good 8 to 10 months of the year, for sure.
Yeah, I just had this vision. I'm like, it's Texas, of course it's going to be warm. What are you talking about? So yeah, you can guys check the weather forecast.
Well, one of the things I didn't appreciate about people who live north is there's all sorts of things you guys have to adjust for. Like, well, first, you guys have, amazing blueberries up there because it gets the stinking cold, and the blueberries love the cold.
Oh, I guess I didn't realize that. I just grab them at, the grocery store and check them in my cart.
Yeah. A friend of mine was from Michigan, and she was talking about how, blueberries are just so, they're like this end of your thumb type size. And so it's like, oh, well, maybe I should go up and check out blueberries.
Or maybe I'm like, I don't think I've seen those at Super Target. I need to go to farmers market for those.
Right.
Anyway. Or maybe I
popping those blueberries back while you're eating while you're reading your books. So tell me, how did you get into writing? I mean, what was you've probably always been a writer, but what was that moment, that catalyst that you said, I'm going to write a book?
You know, I don't. It's so funny. I was looking over your questions, and I don't know that I had one. And it's kind of funny to say that, right? And I think it's just one of those that I have in the back of my head, reading books, going, I could do this, or I think I could do better, or it's like almost like a fun club, right? That I'm like, I think I want to be part of this club. I don't know that there's like a defining moment. And I also really think in life, whether it's a job or a move or something big, you know what time it is when you're ready to make a change or something new. And my kid is getting older, got his license, less dependent. All of a sudden, I'm like, I have all this free time because he's in sports, driving sports multiple times a week. What do you do, right? So I was like, I'm going to give it a try. But I don't know if I had that like light bulb, oh my gosh, I got this burning story, in my soul. I never had that. It's just like, it's time for the new challenge. What am I going to do for the rest of my life?
Oh gosh, when they start to drive, and part of it's scary, of course, because it is, and then insurance. But it's all that. Wow, I don't have to drive, or even better, because I have the younger ones, and she would say, well, I could take them. I'm like, oh, you can.
Yeah. Oh, I just got that one. I was surprised at how much free time I had. I'm like, it was almost like jarring in a way, isn't it?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So I think
what was your?
Yeah, that was just kind of it.
Yeah. Well, what were work-wise and like you're talking about time? What was your all that before? Like, what were you doing before that?
Well, I am still doing it because I do this part-time. My background is actually I went to school too long. I have 2 master's degrees, one in information technology and an MBA, and I worked for a corporate company doing kind of VP level IT stuff. I guess I say that because it's a lot of translation, but I work in IT, and also just because I'm able to balance both, especially with all the time. Maybe I like to eventually do it more, but right now I'm okay with the balance as I'm learning. So corporate IT. Okay.
So I asked because a lot of people are doing a lot of it seems like a lot of people are doing kind of a hybrid thing. So they'll do some of their books through publishers, some of their books through indie, some do all indie, some do all published. But if you do your own, like indie, do you? I always ask people if they design their own covers or they have someone come in and do their covers. So which direction did you go?
I design my own. I don't know that they're perfect, but what I do is I kind of like a DIY / help where I might design some based on what I like, and then I will go out and buy fonts or pay for the characters and things like that. So it's not completely. So I'm just kind of hacking it that way, and it's not even like money saving or anything. It's just like I knew what I wanted, and I had a hard time taking it out of my head and putting it on the paper. So I'm like, I'm going to give this a try. And so far I'm okay. Yeah. And the nice part is if I don't like it, I can change it, right?
Right.
Minimal, yeah.
And so you've got Love Refined, was your first book of the romantic comedy series, Love Lessons. And then you have Love Game that came out this year. And then you have Head Over Heels that comes out later this year. So tell me about this series. So the Love Lessons, those were what I kind of call my starter ones, where you're just kind of working out the kinks of being a writer, what's working well, what's not working well, assigning your voice, your readers, your genre, all that type of thing. And I really like them. I think that since they're my newer ones, they came from the place of like, I don't know what I'm going to say. It's like, I don't know if this is coming up making sense, like non-commercial. You're just kind of writing them for yourself, if that makes sense, and kind of seeing what's happening. Right. And then I don't know if there's a term for that. That's how we'll roll with it. But then you start realizing, like, okay, this is not, as you learn and learn, go, okay, I'm not hitting the expectations. I'm not hitting the right genre and stuff, which is fine if you want to write for the passion, but if you also want to write for like the reader group, then you have to start learning that. And when I'm getting into the next one, which is going to be Head Over Heels, that's actually part of an anthology, and then it's going to come out as the first
a couple months later, it's going to come out as the first in a new series. Now I'm like, okay, I'm hitting the reader's expectations more, and not only the tropes, but the anything from the language to the characters, what they are expecting, what they want to read, and what they like from me. It's kind of like coming into, like, there's the term, like, staying in your lane, right? The first two is like, okay, figuring out my lane. Now I'm like, okay, I think I'm going down from the 5-lane highway to maybe the 2-lane. We'll see, right? So that's what I'm kind of thinking as I progress.
Right, and I think that's true because a lot of people, no matter what genre and no matter, what, if they go with self or indie or a publisher, it is figuring out what you want in your book. Like, you want to have all these different aspects, but you can't. It's like making a cookie. You can't put everything in the cookie like first time. It's got to be, okay, so we're just going to do sugar. We're just going to do, and then later we're going to start mixing in other stuff. And that way, but we know we can make a really amazing sugar cookie. And that's hard because I think as storytellers, especially when we're excited about our projects or even just newer to that project, we want to tell everything, right? We want everything in there. So, that balance of finding where your strengths are for sure. And I'm sure that, the reader feedback, I mean, you're getting really good reader feedback on the reviews.
Yeah, I am. It's kind of funny because I hit a topic with the first one, which does touch on infertility, and some people or in a breakup, and some people were like, oh my gosh, this person speaks to me. Some people are like, she's so weak. I'm like, my goodness, you must have never had a breakup or situation, because people do go through a lot of emotions and things. I mean, no spoiler alerts there, but but also kind of taught me, like, what do people want? And then I think a hard thing that I had to learn, because of course you write a book, you want everybody to love it, right? Like every human in the world, and they're never going to. You have to find your reader, which is a really big lesson for me. It's like, you know what, those 1 stars, they're not my reader, And that's that, and that's okay. Just like I am not a coconut fan. I'm never going to go to a coconut hut where I'm going to eat, every coconut thing under. You're just not going to get me as a customer, right? That's kind of the same concept. I don't know if that makes sense. That came to mind.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're right. I think that's hard too, and it is, because it doesn't matter whether you've written, your first book or your 200th book. Those 1-star reviews are frustrating. But one of the things, and I'll say that I did, and you've got to, every reader out there who's listening, or every writer out there, every book has had a 1-star. Every book. You can look up any book. You can look up absolutely any book, and there's 1-star reviews. Absolutely.
You know what I read when I was like getting some 1 stars in the first one, and I was like so down. If someone's like, go to pick up somebody that famous, like Harry Potter, read their 1-star reviews. And obviously Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling could be like billions of times more popular than most authors ever. And she's got a lot of 1-star reviews, like, oh, it's too long. Oh, I didn't like the fight scene. I'm like, okay, if she's in that position, who cares about mine?
Right. Well, I mean, you care, because sometimes if it has some of the similar stuff, like if someone keeps saying, this didn't work for me, and you have 3 or 4 of those, you're like, oh, well, maybe I should look at that for next time. But, I mean, if it's obviously just a bunch of random, what was it? I've had one, it was like, well, I didn't know this was a porno, because I write a little saucier. And it's like, oh, come on, and those people, you can't. Or I didn't know this was a romance, or this was too whatever. It's like, whatever. I mean, I don't know why you don't. I mean, they're staring at each other longingly on the cover. So yeah. But I'm glad that what I've really loved about what the romance genre has done, and I know there's a lot of genres who tackle this, but what I've seen a lot more in the romance genre is tackling hard subjects like infertility, and this idea that the happily ever after is always, the white picket fence and the marriage and the baby, and sometimes that's not the happily ever after, and that's okay.
Yeah,
like that's more than okay.
Agree. I read so many genres, including genres, I could never write like suspense. You'll never want to read a mystery novel by me. It'd be the worst thing ever. But one thing that always gets me is like, oh, wow, okay, instant love, tied up in a boat, everything's fine after we had a minor disagreement. Like, that's not life. It's not real. And if anything in mind, like, I wanted to go through those so people can relate. And maybe it's just because, life, but I don't know. I think that's why I'll always probably write some of those harder subjects in there, maybe not as big as infertility, but some of those bigger emotions, because I just can't relate. I can enjoy a book, but I'm not going to relate if it's all like, dancing in the moonlight after my disagreement.
And
right?
we all need that every once in a while. It's like I just want to read something that I know is going to end so beautifully. I mean, that's why I keep watching the Pixar movies. I watch the Up montage so I can have a good cry from time to time. I've watched these movies a ton of times, but it's just that escape. And then, sometimes we do need the bubble baths and the sparkles and everything. And then you're right. Yep. And then other times it's like, God, I am so glad somebody wrote this, because it's like people don't quite get what this whole process is. So like you're talking, like your book, you're talking about, again, the infertility is extremely frustrating. So it's one of those things that when you're going through it, you're not the only one, logically, right? But emotionally, you're just a mess.
Yeah. Yeah, and that one you're referring to is more about a breakup maybe around it, but it's still part of it. You're still a mess. It's not like, I think kind of to your point is, people are like, oh, some people are like, oh, she's pathetic. Like, you are kind of a hot mess when you get dumped, right? So you're like, not a lot of people are like, okay, toss your hair back and move on out, like, the next day. But
yeah. So it's very interesting. Love is messy. I mean, it just is. Even in the best situations and in the best ones, it's still messy. And so I think that writing real life situations is really important, like what you're doing and talking about. And I do love on Love Game, your second book, you have a cute little cat on the cover. Does this look like one of your cats?
Kind of in backwards. Not at the time I was writing it, but then my teenager begged me for a cat. He found, how they have them, the adoption shelters or adoption centers at the animal pet stores, and begged me to bring one home. And it turns out to be a great cat. So, and I love cats. I love cats so much, so it probably was not the worst sell to me. But so eventually it did look like him, but not when I was writing it, which is funny enough.
How funny. How many cats do you have?
3 now, which is a lot of cats, but I love them all. One's not. 2 of them are older, 10 and 11, and then we got the kitten, which keeps them more active, so it works out. Yeah,
it's funny. We got we had a shelter dog or have a shelter dog, and she's kind of a wiener dog mix. So she's got Jack Russell Terrier and wiener dog, so she looks like a wiener dog on stilts. And so I had looked for a long time to kind of find the right match because their older dog had passed. So I finally found this little one right in the middle of all the crazy COVID stuff, and it was in January, and she was a wiener dog mix, but she's a little bit taller. But it's funny because you see them and they look alike. But it's the vet was talking about how he always loves the match of an older dog and a puppy, or an older an older animal and a puppy, or a younger, because that older animal teaches the younger how to be a cat or a dog, more so than we can, because it's that my kids were like, well, she's biting, and I was like, don't worry, Whitney, who's our older dog, will teach her what is okay and what's not, because they have to learn. So I'm sure you've seen the older cats teaching the kitten to play fight. I'm sure they've got a lot to say about it too.
Yeah, I think cats can be harder to train than dogs in that manner for sure. But I do see stuff like that, and I see them the older cats being more playful nowadays, which is nice.
Yeah.
That's what I like too, and partially one of the reasons I agree. Besides the fact the cat was adorable, so they're just sleeping a lot. Like, you need to get a little energy, guys. Yeah, I got an idea for your kitten.
Yes, right. Here you go. Here's your treadmill that moves all over the house.
Exactly. Well, they're playing more these days.
So you also have your sweet romantic comedies, but you just had like a week ago something with an anthology, Storybook Club 2. Tell me about this.
So part of when you're, or at least for me, I was going to say when you are, but maybe it's just my past, is I keep on telling my editor, I'm like, I'm trying new things to see what sticks and what's going well for me. Like, okay, can I make it a short story? Can I, make characters and things like that? So that's one of the things when I saw the opportunity for a short story anthology, I'm like, hey, this is a good idea. I want to see if I can make a story concise, because I think being wordy is just part of me as a personality, part of my writing, and saying, okay, let's see what I can do to tighten this up. So I just thought it was fun. I think it's fun to do a group thing. It's fun to get new readers, a sample of my writing style. And so I put together, I think it's about around 8,000 word story of just two people who were together in high school and then met a few years later, but they didn't recognize each other at first, or she didn't recognize him for some reason. And going through the, oh my gosh, what happened, back then situation. So I thought that was kind of fun. I don't know if I'm supposed to give spoiler alerts or not, but it's just a situation where, like, oh boy, now we have to work through, and then another misunderstanding happens. Can they work through that or not? Or is it a dunzo situation?
Wow. And so, but you've got another one, you're part of a holiday one that comes out in October. So, I mean, you're busy. You're writing a lot.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm kind of the person that I am writing a lot, but I think I'm the person who I need that momentum to get something good. I can't be like, I'm going to pick it up. I can't be like on Monday, I'm going to grab it, work again on it this weekend. I lose a lot of momentum and out of it, so it's better for me to like take those breaks if I'm going to take any between pieces of work. So that's why it doesn't take me long to put together that first draft, because I kind of need that to just be like in the game. So.
Sure. Do you write, are you a pantser or a plotter? I mean, do you sit down and plot out the whole thing and write out your first draft, or do you write scenes, or how do you do it?
Oh, absolutely. I'm a plotter, not a pantser. I think it goes to my IT background, like we're going to do this and this and this and have a formula. And
right.
I'm not saying so in general, what I do is it's kind of the story genius, if you've ever read that book or anybody has, where it's like, okay, you're doing the blueprint and then you're doing like the 5 chapters or 5 scenes, and then, okay, you're getting to a point, then we're going to plot out the next one. But even before that, I usually do 33 chapters, and I have the outline in general. I want to start filling it in. But like I said, it's my IT background. I like a good blueprint.
Well, yeah, I would assume that with IT, you can't really do stuff right in the middle. I mean, it's got to start so the pathway goes where it's supposed to.
Yeah, I would make things a mess if I was just like, let's see what happens.
So what is coming up? I mean, you've got these coming out, but I mean, what are your next projects? What are you thinking about doing, or have you already started?
So I actually just, what day is it? Thursday. Tuesday sent in the Christmas one to my editor, so yay. So I'm actually out of projects right now. It doesn't mean I'm not planning them, but right now I'm not. For the first time in a few months, I'm not physically writing something. So I said I'm going to take the rest of June off to just plan, rest, and then really plan out my next couple of as well. And I know that sounds like not a rest period, but I guess it is for me. And that's what I'm doing, is the Head Over Heels one that comes out September 1st. Like I said, it's part of an anthology, but then it will be a standalone after that. It's going to be my first in my series. I'm starting the second one in July, but so I'm just going to like do some outlining the next part of June, and then also just a few like businessy stuff too, craft classes and things like that. So that will be next one. It's going to be it's tentatively called Take Your Pick. The first one's called Get the Message. Next is going to be Take Your Pick, about a couple other people in that book.
Oh, wow.
In the
So
first book.
you also said that you do a lot of reading. What is on your to-be-read pile?
On my to-be-read pile. So right now, I don't know if you've heard of Whitney Zneen. She and Melanie Summers had put together the greatest series, and I love this. It goes from text God and goes through just various books about text messaging. I know it sounds kind of funny, but misunderstanding text messaging and people meeting that way. And they're so funny. And I have Text and Show is actually on my Kindle that I downloaded. And then another one is Richard Morey. He is so hilarious with Chicklet and just sweet romance. And he put out a new one called It's Raining Men that I have not gotten around to reading, but I love everything he writes. So I am going to probably check it out this weekend when I'm doing
He actually
reading.
has a BookBub deal right now.
Does he?
So it's not PMS, it's you. It's for 99 cents on BookBub right now. Yeah.
And if you're listening to this, you got to grab it. I read that. It was hilarious. He's a guy that want to take up my highlight and be like, oh, this. I obviously don't copy anybody. I'm like, oh, he's so good. Get him imprint upon me or something.
Yeah, he's a really fun guy. He's been on the show a few times.
Oh, he's so funny. I love his stuff, and I've told him before. I'm like, I read all your stuff here. I'm like, yay, a new one.
Yeah, so he's got that one, and I think he's got some more. I mean, he's constantly writing, so he's got that going. So what about outside the romance genre? What do you read?
So, like I kind of mentioned before, I love audiobooks, by the way. Especially in the Minneapolis or Minnesota summers and stuff, I love taking walks and listening. That's my, quote unquote way of reading, almost more than paper, or actually I don't use paper, Kindle. I will do almost anything that sounds good except for sci-fi. It goes straight over my head. I can't figure it out. But a lot of times I will even do mystery novels or suspense. I will never write one, but I just love sometimes the change of genre. But otherwise I do listen to a lot in my genre because it's really inspiring, and I think I get better when I read really good books in my own genre because I just find it inspiring. Oh, that was really funny. Now I'm feeling funny. So
right, yeah, no, I think I've talked to a lot of people. They're like, well, I usually, are you afraid you're going to end up writing someone else's story or whatever? And it's like, no, what I don't. And like you're saying, you get inspired because of good writing. I think it's that feeling of, oh, I never would have put words in a sentence quite like that. That's amazing. It's just, I think it kind of pushes us all to think bigger. Mm-hmm. And to maybe, for me, I know it helps me go, okay, well, I could layer this a little bit better. It sounds a little stiff. And so, yeah, that stuff is incredibly inspiring and motivating, like you're talking about. So, yeah. And I do love, I didn't initially love audiobooks because I was like, really? But in Texas, we tend to have to drive everywhere. So, yeah. So, in fact, I was driving yesterday. It was 6 hours from.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And I was listening to this amazing book called American Spy by Lauren Wilkinson, and I'd had it for a while. And I was reading it, and I was tired. I was exhausted when I got home. But it was actually kind of sad because it's like I've only got 2 hours left of this book. So I was like, oh, but I have it at home. And I'm like, I don't have a print copy, so I'm going to order one today so I can, because I don't have to go anywhere anytime soon. So.
Oh, I totally get it. I'm big on going to the gym. I love going to the gym, but I also, it's my podcast and my audiobooks are walking time. So I almost never listen when I'm not walking. And I will walk miles. I'm like, oh, I got to listen to my book. I have half hour. So then I'll, it's a good way to get your extra exercise in too.
Hey, whatever works, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. So you've been writing, you've been reading, but what are some other things that you've been doing during all this crazy last year and a half or so? Was the writing a way to just kind of step away from all the insanity for a while and focus on something else?
So, in Minnesota winters, writing probably is when I pick it up the most because, frankly, what am I going to do in negative 20-degree weather. I'm not going to go
Sure.
for anybody's walk or anything. So I'll do a lot of that in the winter because it's almost like, what else am I going to do? But in the interim, like, in the whole craziness, I mean, I got more into working out. I've always been a gym goer, but then I bought, more at-home equipment. And then I got more into art. I'm not an artist, but it is something to be said about, like, putting on, a podcast and just creating something that has, it's not going to be beautiful, has nothing to do with any, side hustle or anything. I'm just going to enjoy my time. And I got into that way more than I thought, and I really enjoy it. In fact, I even bought some great classes online that I'm so excited about. Haven't touched in, like, a month, but, I'm just excited to be like, oh, it's my art time. And I think so, especially when you work as much as I do, I have a hard time saying I'm going to just do nothing for a while of, like, art or whatever. So I almost, like, pencil that in my calendar. Like, it's art time on Friday night. I'm going to make this and listen to that.
Yeah. So are you doing watercolors? Are you doing acrylics? Are you just sketching? What are you doing?
Acrylics.
Okay.
Acrylics, and I bought this really good sketchbook one. She's just Laura Horn, if anybody follows her on Instagram, or not, you can do it now. She's from Australia, and she just does the most beautiful artwork, and she has a lot of classes, and I bought one of them. I'm like, I'm so excited to start it.
So it's HORNE?
RN, Laura Horn. Oh, her stuff, I absolutely love it, and so I'm excited for her. She does them on Teachable, and I just thought I'd do coursework of hers. So, no plug. Nice. I'm just telling you what I'm working on.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it brings up a good point that there's always going to be people who are just not going to help anybody else, and that doesn't really. It's in every business. I mean, we all know this. But I think it's important that as artists, we really encourage each other. Like, say when someone has written something or create something or helps others create. I think it's incredibly important that we keep motivating each other. And so, I'm excited. So my kids love to paint, so I will write that down. I've done, like, painting with a twist, and they're sitting there doing this lovely instructions, and you're like, oh yeah, I can do that. I look at mine, I'm like, apparently not.
I know, right?
It's like, how did you shade that? It looks so simple, but that's kind of the point, isn't it?
Yeah, and I just spent $200 on painting supplies. Shouldn't it possibly look like this?
Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. But still, I mean, I don't regret even trying. I mean, we have to try. There's no way any of us, well, I think there's very few of us that could just walk up and go, oh, yeah, this is easy, da-da-da.
So and, like, writing a book, like, it's, a million times harder than I thought it would be. I'm like, I have this in my head. It's going to come out great. It didn't come out great the first attempt. It really didn't.
Right. Well, and it's interesting because I'm sure since you've written a book, you've had people say, I always wanted to write a book. I'm like, yeah. So it can't be that hard. It's like, okay, you go ahead and write your book and talk to me later. So, it's a lot more, crazy.
Oh, I just told my friend this weekend, she's not one of those who's like, I'm going to do it. I said, with everything I'm learning, business-wise, marketing-wise, cover-wise, craft-wise, I said, I feel like I'm doing a DIY master's degree. Like, seriously, it's almost the money and the effort and the time. Like, I probably as much as I spent through my MBA, honestly. It's going to keep on going, too.
But the knowledge is massive. I mean, you can use it in any field of writing. And like you're saying, you read and you write makes you better overall for everything else. So it's, but there are days, I'm sure. I mean, I've done it. I'm like, why am I torturing myself like this? But then it's that feeling of, but this story, these characters will not leave me alone.
Yeah.
I
like these people. I want to hang out with them. Too bad they only exist in my head.
Yeah, I know. Well, and that's one of the reasons why we have writer friends, right? So we can say our characters won't leave us alone and they won't worry, right?
Yep.
It's like, if you talk to other people, or they say, should we call somebody for you? No.
No, oh, it's fine. They'll go away eventually when the new ones move in.
Yeah. Once I give them their story, they'll be fine. Leave me alone. I promise. It's okay. It's all good. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's I'm so excited that you reached out and came on the show because I mean I'm always looking for new authors to meet, but it's exciting because you've got this great list of books and they just look so much fun. I mean, what would be your, like if Hallmark called you and said, hey, we want to make one of your books a movie, would you just be like, absolutely, or would it be like, oh, I don't know?
I mean, you mean from like one specifically, or would I be open to the opportunity?
Just any of them. Any of them. Yeah.
Honestly, I'd be like, why not? I mean, cool opportunity. Let's give it a go, right? I don't think it's anything of the stories that I have hold so close that like I can't possibly give away because I'm going to have so many stories in my lifetime that I'd be like, yeah, let's have a go. Absolutely, I'd be into something like that.
Yeah. Well, and what's fun about that is I've seen several of my friends have books made into movies, and it's this whole other group of people who may not have known about you or read your book. So it's like, oh, there's a book? Yay. So, yeah, I mean, it's all sorts of layering of getting people to know that you're there for sure.
Yeah, I know some people, I guess there's this like website where you can like submit ideas that people can pick up. I don't know what it is, but I just heard there is out there. I'm like, that'd be cool to do eventually, but right now I'm still working on really honing that craft too. I'd be like, okay, let's start doing this. I don't know, maybe one day.
Well, yeah. Well, I know that with all the streaming services coming, with Hulu and Netflix and I mean all this, it's just they need a lot of stories. So you never know. I mean, it's funny how things happen, and they're just sometimes by chance, sometimes by, I mean, people are looking. I mean, who knows? It just.
Yep.
Yeah, or I have a friend of mine who works for so and so, and they're looking for, So I told them about your stuff. I mean, you don't know.
And that's actually happening with the anthology, where they're working with people and they say, okay, we're just going to pitch some of these ideas, not that all of them would even necessarily work, and it's going to take a long time, but are people into it if we help pitch your story to it? I said, of course, why not, right? Life should be fun opportunities. Who knows if it'll go anywhere.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I think, too, one of the hardest things about writing is putting yourself out there every time because it's new every time. Every project is that gut-wrenching, as soon as you hit send type thing, it's like, oh, I suck and I'm terrible and I can't write. And then you get your feedback and it's like, oh, this isn't bad.
I know exactly what you're talking about every time. And then you get some of the one-star reviews that are just, for all their lack of words, like mean. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't understand you don't like it, but you don't got to be mean like that. So. Yeah,
I've noticed that a lot. It's this attempt to crush, I guess, somebody's spirit. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. I'm all for if you don't like it, that's totally cool. I don't like everything in the world, but so.
Right.
I get it, though.
I do have a friend of mine who she wrote a book, and she writes pretty saucy, and she got a 1-star review, and it said, too much sex in this book. Do not read this book. It has too much sex. And she actually used it for in her marketing. It was like, thank you, Miss 1-star review. Yeah, she sold a lot more books because of it.
That's
like,
hilarious.
do not read. One-star reviewer says, don't read this book. Too much sex. And I was like, oh, I'll definitely read this book now.
Okay then. Click.
Yes. Well, and we all know when someone tells a lot of people, don't do that, they're going to be like, oh, well, yeah, I'm doing that. So, I guess parts of us never truly grow up then. So.
Nope.
Well, I wanted to thank you so much for being on the show today. I really appreciate you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And for everybody listening, I've been talking to Brynn North. She is a contemporary romance and chick lit author. She has books out now, Love Refined and Love Game. She's part of an anthology that just came out on June, Storybook Pub 2. And then she's got a bunch of other stuff. You need to get your credit cards ready because she's got books out now. She's got books coming up. So, you will be plenty entertained this summer as you sit out and with your new cat, because it's Adopt a Cat Month, and read. So thank you again for coming, and please come back when you have some more stuff coming out.
Absolutely. This fall, this winter, I'll probably have plenty, so we will talk then.
Absolutely. So we can keep all of the people who are inside for 4 months completely entertained, right?
Yep, maybe that'll be my goal. Well, thank you again for having me.
Absolutely. This has been Patricia W. Fisher with Readers Entertainment Radio. Everybody, keep on reading.
This show brought to you by Circle of Seven Productions. www.cosproductions.com. Please be sure to subscribe and welcome to our circle.